In this class, we've already talked about mass production. We've talked about the assembly line. We've really talked about it in terms of a technical innovation. And I want to turn to my colleague Nicola Pizzolato in London to move beyond the assembly line as a technical innovation to talk about the cultural ramifications of mass production on a large scale. Nico.
Hello there. Yes. When Henry Ford introduced his system of mass production in his factories in Detroit, that had a large resonance beyond the United States. And a number of intellectual commentators, engineers across Europe and across the world became interested in this system. One reason was a technical reason of improving production, but social theorists became interested because they understood that there were wide ramifications of this system of production for the overall social order and for the culture of the working classes. Well, one example of this that you find, for instance, in literature, it's a book, Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, which is sort of dystopian novel based on the effect of Fordism. In Italy, the debate was particularly interested, and one, I think, key contributor to this debate, although at the time he was in prison and was writing from prison, is the Italian politician and theorist Antonio Gramsci. Antonio Gramsci, while was in prison by fascism during 12 years, he wrote notebooks in which he commented on social and political issues. And one of the most famous sections of his prison notebooks are called Americanism and Fordism. And one thing that interested Gramsci at the time, he's writing in the 1930s, is the fact that Fordism would have on workers' psychology, on workers' leisure time, on workers' morality. He recognized that Fordism, in the effort to create efficient workers, was trying to shape a new type of man. That's how Gramsci put it. There was a sort of a psychophysical connection, that's again Gramsci's word, that needed to be taken care in this new type of worker that inhabited the Fordist factories. And this required sort of control and shaping the workers' personality and lifestyles beyond the factory. In workers' private life and family life, and it's well known that for a time being, for a certain number of years, Ford established the so-called sociological department, in which through which the Ford Corporation controlled the private lives and family lives of workers who wanted to qualify for the highest wages. And what really Ford had in mind was to check that this mostly immigrant workforce was adopting a sort of American work ethic, American values, which ethos were the most appropriate for working in a factory. And Gramsci recognizes that all these controls of workers' lifestyle was not really for the sake of improving workers' lifestyles and morality, but for the sake of rationalizing production and making production more efficient and profitable for Ford. One thing that interesting Gramsci eventually says, Gramsci is not pessimistic about this effort. He recognized that this effort is eventually probably destined to fail. It's very difficult, even though it's very difficult for Ford to shape this new kind of man, a man that would not be political, would not be contesting and critiquing the system of production. Because Gramsci says that as much as you fragment the task at work and create an individual who really execute the same task over the whole day, as much as you try to control workers' private life, there is a critical spirit within the workers that will survive and will contest that production and cultural system. It was very long.